Thank you. Thank you, John, and thank you for your leadership of AASHTO. And of course, Bud, we want to thank you for what you do here every single day. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge some of the senior leadership at the Department of Transportation. And this is an indication as to how important you all are, because this is a lot of talent that's here just to listen to you. Let me introduce Derek Kahn, the newly confirmed Undersecretary for Policy, and Derek is over there. And we've got Jim Ray, Senior Advisor for Infrastructure, and Jim is over there. Brandy Hendrickson, Federal Highways Administration Acting Administrator. Brandy. And Butch Wadowek, FHWA Executive Director. Butch is over there. Do we have Ray Martinez here? I do not think so, but it was in my cards. But they are here, as I mentioned, to get to know you, listen to your concerns, and share whatever information we have at the department so that you can do your job better. You know, it seems just like yesterday that I was last here with you. A lot has transpired over the past year. I'm pleased to report back to you that it's been a very productive year at the Department of Transportation, as we've made great progress in advancing toward our shared goals. The administration's comprehensive infrastructure proposal, informed to a great extent by all of you, has been delivered to the Congress on February 12th of this year. The plan involves 12 governmental agencies and cabinets, including transportation, energy, drinking and wastewater, rural broadband, and veterans hospitals. It is a broad, ambitious program, and it has ignited a necessary debate throughout the nation and in the Congress on our infrastructure priorities and processes as a country. The administration's infrastructure plan is a 10-year investment plan to modernize our nation's infrastructure assets. It's historic in that it's comprehensive and separate from the reauthorization package. The goal of the president's proposal is to stimulate at least $1.5 trillion in infrastructure spending and investments. And this includes a minimum of $200 billion in direct federal funding. The guiding principles are quite simple. One is to use federal dollars as seed money to incentivize infrastructure investment. Two, provide for the needs of rural America. Three, streamline permitting and speed up project delivery. And four, reduce unnecessary and overly burdensome regulations. In addition, a key element of this proposal is to empower decision-making at the state and local level, because we really believe that it's at the state and local level that the best knowledge about infrastructure and the needs of the community are realized. Half of the new infrastructure funds would go toward incentivizing new state and local investments in infrastructure. A quarter of the federal funds will be dedicated to addressing rural infrastructure needs, as prioritized not by us, but by state and local officials. And as a former Secretary of Labor, I am really pleased to note that this plan also has a workforce component in it to help workers access the skills needed to build these new projects. Hopefully, in the next coming days, a new booklet will come out, and for background on the plan, you'll see this. It's a publication soon to be released, and it's going to be called The President's Initiative for Rebuilding Infrastructure in America. It was supposed to be here today. It was not. I'm not going to tell you who, but I told off the record some of these others so you can get the rest from them. But this is the work of a lot of really wonderful people at the department, and it provides a fuller picture of the reasoning behind the President's infrastructure plan and the goals as well. This administration believes that empowering decision-making at the state and local level is really important because we believe in the state and local communities that make things happen. The federal government only owns about 10% of our country's infrastructure and contributes about 14% of total infrastructure spending. The rest is owned and funded by state and local governments. So giving local decision-making back to our communities make a lot of sense. And while Congress will be conducting hearings on infrastructure legislation this spring, the administration began last year doing what we can at the regulatory level. You'll be pleased to know that at the department, we are implementing the President's One Federal Decision. It's an initiative that was announced last August, and it helps to speed up infrastructure projects and reduce costs. We're also working on a new process to handle the permitting of complicated, multi-agency projects to meet the President's new expedited timeline for permitting. This means less paperwork, more timely improvements that will better protect the environment and also our quality of life. The department's efforts to reduce the regulatory cost and burdens that stymie infrastructure projects, limit the deployment of innovation, and hinder job creation have already yielded significant results. In the prior 8 years, the Department of Transportation alone increased the cost of regulations on our economy by over $3 billion a year, just from the one department, the Department of Transportation alone. Last year, in 2017, the department decreased regulatory costs by $312 million, and we are on track to reduce the cost of regulations by more than $500 million in 2018. I think. This dramatic turnaround can be explained by the fact that of the 158 Department of Transportation rulemakings in 2017, over half, 82, were deregulatory. Contrast that with the previous year, in which only 14% of the 132 rulemakings were deregulatory. We have also aspired to make the department's grant programs more effective. A number of you are particularly interested in updates on the Tiger and the Infra grants. We have received 450 applications, which were due last October for the fiscal year 2017 Tiger grant programs. Derek Kahn's office is overseeing these Tiger grants, and these award announcements will be going out very soon. And after the Tiger grants are announced, the Infra award announcements will soon follow. The challenges of infrastructure planning, particularly how to pay for projects, are matters that the state, local, and the federal officials have been grappling with, not only this time, but in every past instance as well. But in the last few decades, overly burdensome regulations have made these challenges more difficult than is necessary. So we are keeping this torturous history in mind as we advance the President's infrastructure plan and as we look forward to the future of transportation. As you well know, we're in the midst of a transportation transformation, and where the regulatory aspects of these evolving technologies are concerned, the future is already here. New technologies could transform the ways that we travel and connect with one another. I'm referring to autonomous or self-driving vehicles, drones, and other transportation innovations. These new technologies have the potential to improve safety by addressing human error, which is a factor in 94% of accidents. They also can help increase access to transportation options for the underserved communities, including, for example, the elderly and people with disabilities. They can regain their freedom back. But as we all know, there are also concerns about these technologies in regard to safety, security, and privacy. When last September we issued the Autonomous Vehicle 2.0 guidance, A Vision for Safety, so much has already changed, and we are already working on A Vision for Safety, Autonomous Vehicles 3.0. And so this is a copy of the 2.0 booklet, and a 3.0 version should be coming out this August. And once again, this is an area that Derek Kahn's office will be handling as well. This update is important, as I mentioned, because technology is changing so much. This new AV guidance will be multimodal, and it will include various transportation systems, such as mass transit, rail, and trucking. Then, as we all know, drone technology is revolutionizing the aviation industry. Companies are increasingly interested in adapting them for all kinds of commercial as well as humanitarian applications. After last year's series of devastating hurricanes, the FAA worked overtime to process more than 300 waivers for drone use in the search, rescue, and recovery efforts. And on January 10th of this year, a major milestone was reached with more than 1 million drones registered in the US. And then there has arisen a new job category. There's been a significant increase in the number of drone operators. There are now more than 75,000 drone operators certified to conduct commercial operations. And that's why the Department and FAA have launched a drone pilot program that will allow local communities to team with industry partners to safely conduct various drone operations and test new drone technologies. The department has received about 150 completed applications, and we're expanding our selection of lead participants. The department hopes to use the data, best practices, and insights gained from this drone pilot program to enable the next generation of drone operations. This is important to note. The drone's approach to innovation, the department's approach to innovation will be technology neutral, not top-down, nor command and control. We think that it's really important for policymakers to promote safety while at the same time foster, protect the environment for innovation to flourish. This is a hallmark of America. So we will continue to emphasize safety, but as policymakers, we also have the very serious responsibility to not hamper the innovation and the creativity that is so much a part of America. So I'd like to thank all of you for staying engaged on these issues. They're really important to our nation. And as I mentioned the last time I saw you, your success is our success. And within this Department of Transportation, we view you as full partners in moving America forward. Thank you so much. I'm going to go this way.